Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the laws of KASHRUS of Rabbi Yomin Forest, and we're starting today Perek Shlisi, the third chapter, which is called Hilchos Pas Akum, the laws of bread that was baked by a non-Jew. Shloisha Devarim Asarum Chazal. There are three things that Chazal said are also prohibited, Kedei lahachikeinu min hagoyim, to keep us away from the non-Jewish world. In order that we should not come to marry them, as we've been speaking about the last few days. Vehem. What are those three things? Number one is shemen oivdei kochavim, the oil of the oivdei kochavim of the non-Jews. Pitam, their bread, that's two. And three, v'tavshilehem, their food, their cooked food. Gezeiros elu lo niskablu b'kerev Yisrael b'tzura shava. However, he writes, these three decrees were not accepted equally amongst all the Jewish people. And the truth is, he writes that you can't eat oil that was manufactured or made by a non-Jew was not accepted by the majority of the Jewish people. Since apparently oil is something that is used so often, something that people are used to having on a regular basis, if you'd always have to search and seek to make sure that you have oil that was manufactured by a Jew and you can't use that of a Goy, it's something that the Reiv Atzibur, the majority of Klal Yisrael, was not able to uphold. Ulefikach, and therefore he tiru bezdin shalachareim. After Chazal made the original decree, the bezdin, the courts that came afterwards, they permitted the Jewish people to use oils that were manufactured and made by the non-Jews. Therefore, you're allowed to eat oil that is that of a goy. If you go to the store and you buy Spanish or Italian olive oil that's manufactured by non-Jews and it's made by non-Jews and the like, no problem, you're allowed to have that. As long as you're not concerned that they put some kind of prohibited oils or other types of prohibited food inside of that oil. On the other hand, also the achmir li'asrei, you're not even allowed to be machmir, to be stringent in this area. Because if you're being machmir, I only eat oil that was manufactured by the Jews. I'll only have olive oil or canola oil or vegetable oil that was made by a Jew. I'm not going to have any of this non-Jewish oil. So then you're being machmir, you're being stringent when the great high courts already said that we are not stringent in this particular area, and therefore you eat whatever oil is available to you as long as it has a kashrus symbol on there and you know that it is kosher. Gam, that's oil. Gam gezeres pas akum, even the bread of the non-Jews. Lo niskabel etzel rov bnei Yisrael, even that the majority of the Jewish people were not able to handle. Ulechein nagu lahakil ba harbe kamosh yizmar, and therefore many people are mekel, they're lenient in this area, as we are going to explain, and we'll see the place where you're allowed to be maker, where you could be lenient in pas akum, in the bread baked by a non-Jew. Ulam, however, gezer is bishul akum. But when it comes to the food that was cooked by a non-Jew, niskabla eitzel roi b'nei Yisrael, this is something that was accepted by the majority of the Jewish people, and therefore that gezer, that decree, remains with all of its strength. In this chapter, we're going to explain the laws of pas akum, of the bread, which is the non-Jewish bread. We'll see what that means. Yesh l'tzayin, I just want to point out, he writes, Ki av shebeloshen hamenuberes nikraim isurim elu pas akum ubishul akum. Even though we call it pas akum, the bread of an akum, or the cooking of an akum, sheperusha, what is akum? Ayin chaf Vav Mem stands for Oivik Kochavim Azola, stands for those non-Jews that worship idols and the like, worship the stars. Mikol Makam Gam Pito Shel Goy She'ein Oivik Avodah Zara Asur Midin Pas Akum. Says Rav Force, I just have to point out that even if there's not so many non-Jews in the world that are Oivik Avodah Zara, that are serving idols and worshiping the stars and the like, nevertheless, whenever we speak about pas akum or bishul akum, we're talking about food that was cooked by any non-Jew even if they're not worshipping idols and the like, and that's therefore you're not going to find many that are idol worshippers anymore. Nevertheless, whenever you find the words akum in these chapters, hakavana, the intention is l'stam goy tham, at a regular non-Jew, his cooking of the food is going to be included in this prohibition and this decree. Okay, that's the beginning over here of this chapter. Obviously, much more for us to see, and Be'ez Hashem we shall continue tomorrow. All the best.